Hey, you guys, it's Tamika Chambers and Fulfill Your Divine Purpose Facebook group. And it is Monday. We're on another Monday, and today is Solar Eclipse Monday. And something told me yesterday, I was actually putting out my newsletter, sharing another one of my mother's life lessons that I turned into a principle. And something told me to look up solar eclipse. I was trying to see if there was some spiritual meaning to it. And what I found out is that some people see it as a reawakening, if you will, a clearing away. And that's what I was thinking of. I was like, from what I gather, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was saying that the moon basically is in between the sun and the earth. And my children were explaining to me like the cast, the shadow. And when I looked up the definition of solar eclipse, because I wasn't really ever in it. I don't know if you guys were ever into solar eclipse. I didn't think about it, I think, much in high school, grade school, and I definitely didn't probably think about it as a child. But in my late 40s, just had a birthday, I'm thinking about it now, because I would approach life as there's some spiritual meaning to stuff, things that happen in our life. There's some spiritual meaning. And I found out that they said that people kind of see it as a clearing away, if you will, things in our lives. And that's one of the things I mentioned in my newsletter, is that we're clearing away. It's a way opportunity, because Sunday is that I consider is Sabbath day, that rest day. But what happens is that it's an opportunity to just kind of really reflect on your life up until now. Really reflect. I mean, daily, we're supposed to reflect. I think it's so important for us to have that quiet moment, that time to look on the day's events. What happened? How did I respond? Were there any emotions that rose in me? Anger, frustration, shame, guilt, anything that came up that rose in me or came to the forefront. Because I believe, just like fizz in a soda, anything that doesn't belong or that needs to get up will rise to the top. And often I say that's in the form of our thoughts. That's in the form of daymares, nightmares. Anything that does not belong in us will attempt to rise up, right? Our body gets rid of things, just like when our digestive system, gets rid of things. And so, we must take time, I believe, as a daily cleansing. We talk about, green smoothies and detoxifying our bodies. It's important for us to detoxify our minds, because ultimately what we think about affects us physically in the form of physical symptoms. We talk about resentment and arthritis, when we talk about anger and pain, general pain, low back pain, aches. We think about those. Often those are reflections of where our minds are at the time. And I believe our experiences, they help us to see where we are at any given moment. What are we still holding on to? Why did we get angry about something? Because, it's often something that is already in us. And then these experiences bring it out of us. So instead of being angry at somebody, and this is for me too, because what I say to you, I say to myself, instead of being angry at people, there is a sense of gratitude, because it's like, oh, I didn't know I had not dealt with that. I didn't know that was in me. I didn't know, that pushed my buttons. Why had it pushed it? Because I was still kind of, thinking about this. And so it's another week. It's another day to reflect. It's another day to not be a statistic. Heart disease, heart statistics are common according to research on Mondays. And I always say you don't have to be a statistic. And the question I posed in this Facebook before this live is, how are you using your story? Everyone has a story. I wasn't going to I thought about, okay, I can do this later, that whole procrastination going off. And then the thought came through just as quick as I was typing it, if not quicker, is that how do you use your story? Do you use it as of anger? And as in a way to motivate you? Do you use it to travel with conscious? You're kind of like on the lookout. Who's going to use me? Who's going to abuse me? All guys are the same. Are you fearful of people? Are you fearful of speaking up for yourself? Are you fearful of going out for the things that matter the most to you? Are you fearful of taking care of yourself because then you are wearing certain clothes, even if they have good taste, because you fear how someone is going to treat you, or they're going to think that you're something that you're not? Your business. How do you carry that in your day-to-day business? Do you walk around tense and, waiting for someone to say something negative, to you? Or do you walk with an open mind in that not everyone is like the person that projected their pain on you? Because it comes to how are we using our stories to fulfill our divine purpose? Because overall, that affects our health. That affects our overall well-being and how we manage our monies, how we speak to people, how we interact with others, who we use as a circle of influence, who is our circle of influence, who's influencing our business decisions, how we're taking care of our bodies. Are we exercising? Are we delaying, our activity because we have so much work to do? It's a real challenge, you guys, to have balance in your life. Balance in your financial realm, in your spiritual realm. It's in your family and taking care of your children and taking care of yourselves. And if you have a significant other, that whole juggling that you're doing, in trying to maintain an environment that builds you up, an environment that supports you, an environment that you feel comfortable in being yourself. And I've used my faith. I've used my faith in my story that as a child, one of the thoughts that came to me is that God knew I could handle it. That I was given the tools. And I think about the Bible verse when it says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And that fearful and that, okay, I see the things you could go to, as a parent. I see the things, our children can go through. I see the things I can possibly go through, as a business owner, as a person. But wonderfully in that I know that I have what I need to succeed. I have access to infinite intelligence, that no experience defines me, that I'm fully capable of doing the work that I'm here to do, because our Creator gave us those seeds that we sow through practice. We sow through faith and belief that we can accomplish things, that nothing is impossible, that we have this vehicle that is fully functioning to its ability, whatever it is that we're here to do, that is functioning so that we can do our work, our divine work. And everything that we do, the words that we say, the thoughts that we have, employer, entrepreneur, reading, dancing, singing, everything as a parent, our roles affects our purpose. All of it somehow intertwines together to bring out a unique expression of God, of truth, of higher power, whatever you want to call it. I have this little hair that's kind of sticking up, wanting to do its own thing. But I'm still talking. I'm still sharing because, it's important to periodically have these conversations. How am I using my story? This is National Child Abuse Prevention Month. And I've shared my stories regarding my abuse experiences. And, my thing is, it's about how can we become better because of what we went through? How can we prepare the future, our children, because of what we went through? How can we treat others in a way that is respectful, that is honoring them because of what we went through? what we experience. So again, how are you using your experience? Because how are you using your experience? How are you reflecting your experience out into the world affects who you are in the inner world. This inner environment that encompasses more than just our organs and our cells, but a doorway to the spiritual world. How are you reflecting your journey? How are you doing that? How are you managing your money, your circle of influence? How are you helping your children, whether they're still young and with you or grown? How are you speaking with them? Because I tell you, when we deny the pain, when we refuse to see it, when we refuse to see our story and to accept our story for what it is, we ultimately deny ourselves. And we deny everything beyond ourselves, that inner world, that spiritual world. We're denying that. And then we feel clogged and we feel not in tune with life. We feel foggy brain. We let fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, bitterness, resentment, shame, guilt, all of those to have a place within us, to continue to sow their seeds and eventually sprout and become a harvest. And then we want to know when we're older, why are we bitter? Why are we angry? Why are we in so much pain? Why don't we have the life that we wanted? And it's because sometimes we reject the story. We reject ourselves. We reject a part of our story, which is part of our journey of learning and understanding more about ourselves and how we fit in this world. Understanding more about what we went through, what we experienced, and how that's going to help positively impact what I'm here to do. And so remember, the key is getting to the heart of the matter. So many people have heart attacks, heart events, cardiac events. The heart, the center of joy, the primal pump of our body, oxygen and its nutrients. How do we take better care of our heart? And that is often getting to the root of those issues that come about as a result of our experiences and putting those in their rightful spiritual perspective. To become better instead of bitter, to become wiser, to have more understanding, to have more knowledge. And therefore, we are better suited to maximize our gifts, our talents, our abilities, to maximize the money that we have, the money's the wealth, to maximize our relationships, to maximize our work, to have that balance that I believe we all seek in life. This is Tamika Chambers with live session on Heart to Heart. And I know you guys, my timing is kind of all around juggling stuff and not to make any excuses, but I'm here right now. And whether you are in this live session or you listen to it later, I hope that it will give you something to think about, something to get to the heart and clear your heart and allow you to be more present with what's going on with today. It's those open-ended questions. How are we using our stories, our earthly journey to impact our purpose? How are we doing that? I'll talk to you guys soon. You can sign up for my newsletters, weekly inspirational, empowering messages. Right now I'm sharing my mother's life lessons that are universal, and that they can help not only just with your personal life, but also with your professional life too as well. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care of yourself. As always, make this lifetime great, make this week great, and continue to reflect on your life. Be the objective person in your life by sitting quietly with yourself and asking yourself those questions, because I believe that when we do ask, we do receive. When we seek, we find, and we knock, the doors will be opened. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.